Previously on
Protect the Princess!
Then why do you and your leader refer to Sarah as an object, huh?
Because, in all honesty, she is an object, in every sense in the world.
The fuck is that supposed to mean?
You ask why we regard her identifier as a keyword, correct? Both Rudo and I refer to it as Sarah, because that name is shortened form for her true identifying keyword. Sarah, Snap's Architecture Review and Assessment.
What? What?
During the conception stage, we were provided with a report with that very title, followed by an acronym of the title. That is why Sarah cannot be considered a name. It is a shorthand keyword.
The fuck are you... what? Did you just say... conception? What could he possibly mean by conception? I don't understand.
When Sid Zhevits was still alive and the CEO of Zhevits Enterprise, he conceived a genius method of excavating the lethal mana mines of the outer pole. Sarah is a product of his conception. Sarah is a machine.
Say what? Say what? I mean, it makes sense now. I mean, the barrel part, that she didn't get any damaged. So, yeah, I guess she's an android? Yeah. Did you, use, her body? What? You got more explaining to do, Albus. Is it, pure machine, or is it, use human organs? What's up, Albus? You're not, saying that in jest, are you? Machine?
Currently, Zhevits Enterprise exists to do one thing very efficiently, producing alternative energy source to keep Kadia in the outer pole alive.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Falster. Are you using the definition of machine in the sense that a normal person would when referring to a grandfather clock?
Well, if you add a few more dimensions to say grandfather clock, it would be closer to my definition of machine. But in essence, yes.
With all due respect, Mr. Falster, I must honestly say that I do not believe you, bruh.
Not many people would, to be perfectly honest.
Machines are automated, but they do not possess sentience.
Elaborate.
If Sarah was a machine, then everything we did together could not have been possible. Her sentience guided us. Right? Am I pronouncing that right? Sentience? Yeah. Anyway, it made running errands a possible task. She knew where to lead us, she could make decisions for herself, and she demonstrated care and compassion for her fellow man.
Intriguing. Tell me, Miss Ritona, are you well acquainted with the underlying mechanism of the perception?
Not entirely, no. I do not in any way consider myself to be an expert.
People often seek to disprove of conceptual ethereal matter by hearkening back to their personal perceptions. What they see is what they believe. Your perceptions have led me to conclude that neither of you has had to experience the hardship of the outer pole. Far from it, in fact.
Back to the topic at hand, bruh. Based on what I have observed, I can only conclude that you both have manipulated her into believing that she is an obedient machine, forcing her to forego her humanity.
And it would only make logical sense that way, given the few pieces of puzzle that is still far from complete. I will not force my perception onto either of you. In fact, if I were you in place, or if I were in your place, and you both were in mine, I would find my own assertion to be quite absurd.
Realistically speaking, it is absurd.
That's enough, Ritona. Let's hear Mr. Falster out. He is correct. We only have a few pieces of a much larger puzzle. One that even I feel is still far from complete. We can't judge without knowing everything first, Ritona.
Alright, princess. Damn. Then we will abide by King Valor's old adage. Very well, princess.
Intriguing dynamic. Their interactions almost reminded me of the relationship that Sid and I had.
I apologize for subjecting you to skeptical cynicism, skeptical cynicism, but your assertion is quite difficult to accept, especially without any evidence.
I can't believe it. There are so many pies that Sid had his fingers in, that even I am still being kept in the dark.
Mr. Falster!
Yes?
If I had some time to spare, I thought I might demonstrate Manakravte as a token of your willingness to meet with us.
Did you just say Manakravte? Are you both Manakravters?
Shit. I don't like where this is going.
We are, Mr. Falster. We hail from a land which is rich and plentiful in both mana and Manakravte wisdom.
The thought never occurred to me that you both might have traveled here from somewhere within the inner pole. Are you certain of this, Miss Selphine? Wouldn't initiating Manakravte accelerate mana shock?
When we met Rudolf Zhevits, he estimated that we had 3 or 4 days remaining. And even though remaining here adds to the risk of succumbing to mana shock sooner, we are taking that risk.
Incredible. Despite being aware of the impending danger to your own lives, you both have decided to remain until the matter of Sarah is settled. You both are even willing to divulge your background, which are nigh taboo to Cadians, to an utter stranger, for the sake of a machine.
Aye, look! We had our good time with Sarah, eh? Yeah!
It would be fair for either of us to ask more of you without sharing a little something about ourselves.
And I do appreciate the sentiment. Make no mistake. Unfortunately, I am short on time, and I must regretfully decline your offer. I must prepare to be confined to my office for the remainder of this week and into next. Starting tomorrow. There is much to be done in the little time I have remaining tonight, as well.
Oh-ho! What?
That won't be an issue, bruh. Casting this particular Manakravte will not leave you bereft of your remaining evening.
Rito, not serious. This will only take a few moments to cast.
Huh? I'm not quite sure I follow. Casting? Will you be casting a spell on me?
Please, Mr. Falster, we ask you to trust us, just for a brief moment, eh? We want to share and exchange information with you, without taking up too much of your precious time. If there's anything that you'd like to know about us, we can share it directly. If you'd like to learn about our homeland, our culture, anything, it'll take but an instant.
An instant? Share directly?
Before we proceed,
are you in any way interested in our proposal?
I am. But there's really little time that I may spare. As much as I'd love to tell you both everything, the reality is that I am under the constraint of time.
Fret not, Mr. Falster. In a few moments, you will come to understand that this particular Manakravte does.
Will you trust us, Albus Falster?
Yes. Yes, I will trust you.
Thank you so much for understanding. Ritona, May I have a small stimulus?
Your wish is my command, princess! I didn't expect to garner a demonstrate in Manakravte tonight. Yeah. Strangely enough, I am simultaneously anxious and excited to be allowed such a rare opportunity.
Well, we'll fill you in the details after we're all done, okay? Okay?
Huh? All alone?
Selfie?
Oh, you're going!
A supple yet gleaming aura of mana involved self-feed. She initiated the incantation interval and is concentrating our mana energies for casting Manakravte.
The absence of ample mana stream to supplement and stabilize my purified mana is difficult. I never thought that the incantation interval would require my entire focus and drain me of stamina. How can Ritona craft her transcending sword so effortlessly? I think I'm almost there.
Selfine's eyelid parted a ways, unveiling her pristine large eyes and blue irises. She's ready to cast her Manakravte! What's the meaning of this? Her eyes appear richer and more vibrant than before. The sheen of her blonde hair appears to be sparkling. Even her skin seems to be glowing. Is this all due to the magic of Manakravte?
Are you ready, Mr. Foster?
I am.
Okay, then just bear with me for a moment.
Selfie presses her right index and middle finger together and lightly touched Albus's forehead. Are you, going into his mind right now, Selfie? What? Are you okay, Selfie? Princess? The incantation period took a few moments longer than usual. Perhaps the lack of mana stream played a part in the delay.
Yes, I haven't cast Manakravte in a very long time, so I'm trying to get acclimated again.
You need not tense up your facial muscles, so relax and cast with confidence, princess. Phew.
Don't worry, Mr. Foster. I've only warmed up my body by initiating the incantation interval.
Lovely, yeah.
Here we go. Ritona!
Go, princess!
What?
Whoa!
Wait, where am I? What is this strange sensation? I'm alive, and yet my consciousness, thoughts, everything feels ethereal and weightless. It's almost as if I've been sucked into a dark vortex.
Mr. Foster, I have successfully cast my Manakravte and established a link between us. You're next, Ritona.
Huh? Miss Ritoa will cast Manakravte as well? Yes, Selfie. Only built the link between her and yourself, while I will bridge us all together, so yeah. Our stream of consciousness will flow into each other's. Is that even possible?
The bridge that Ritona is attempting to establish is part of the Mind Eye Manakravte.
Mind Eye Manakravte? What?
It is a type of Manakravte that falls under Comcraft, which is mainly used to establish link between the consciousness or conscience of one or more parties.
What?
How are you feeling now, Mr. Foster?
I feel very strange. It almost feels as if the noise from my surrounding is dying into an unsettling silence, as if I've been trapped inside a jar. And yet, I feel no discomfort because I am not alone in this jar. I feel Selfie's faint presence, which is becoming more pronounced by the moment. Right.
You look ready, Ritona. Joining at any time.
Understood, princess.
Huh? I feel an additional presence join mine. Is this Miss Ritona? I am at a profound loss for words that can't accurately describe this sensation.
Now that we're all together, let's dive deeper.
Wait? Huh? Oi! Where is this? Is this Laboratory 9? How is this even possible?
We are now in the realm of media.
What is that?
We have entered your subconsciousness through the mind dye Manakravte.
In other words, this realm is the manifestation of my subconsciousness. My subconscious is being manifested? Huh? My thoughts are flowing out audibly.
They are, and we are indeed within your subconscious, Mr. Falster. So, you better tell the truth, buddy.
This is my subconscious.
By entering your subconscious, Riton and I have made it so that none of us are bound by the flow of time while we continue our early conversation. Now that we are linked, every thought that is born within my mind may be received by both Ritona and you. And likewise.
I just heard her speak without actually moving her lips.
I understand that receiving another person's thought may feel overwhelming at first, but you will soon become accustomed to the routine.
Accustomed? I'm still struggling to accept everything that I'm experiencing at the moment.
Under optimal circumstances, the mind dry Manakravte assists in the instantaneous facilitation of exchanges. How the exchanges manifest is irrelevant. The underlying purpose is to conduct a conversation in the briefest of moments. You know what I'm saying?
An hour's conversation could be concluded in a few minutes, but since you're still getting acclimated, we're going to just take our time. Usually the more participants in a Manadai facilitated conversation there are, the longer it takes. We should treat this like we would a normal spoken conversation first, before proceeding through our thoughts.
That would be wonderful? What? Is it wonderful? I don't have the faintest clue what I should do here. Is it wonderful? I don't have the faintest clue what I should do here. God damn. I'm saying it twice. I forgot. Yeah.
Relax, Mr. Foster. While you may have fallen prey to the uninitiated mistake of voicing a thought that was only meant for your ears, don't let it discourage you. Remember, we are within the realm of media, which effectively acts as a manifestation of your subconsciousness. There's no distinction between veracity and fallacy for any thought that you give birth to. The purified mana coursing throughout your brain and body contains your innermost memories, the expression of which is facilitated by your subconscious.
That effectively all of my innermost memories will be unveiled.
Only if you allow yourself to express each and every one. Thankfully, a filter for catching the more private ones exists. While you are within the realm of media, your conscious mind may play an active role in preventing your subconsciousness from unveiling sensitive information. You can control what emotions, memories, and thoughts you want us to hear while keeping your innermost thoughts safe. If your conscious mind is preventing sensitive thoughts from streaming out, we are powerless to force you to unveil those thoughts.
Essentially, we hear the selected piece of information that you want to share with us, while withholding everything else that may be too private to disclose, you know what I'm saying?
Understand now. I just never experienced or witnessed something so magical before.
The Mind Dye Manakravte is among the few unique Manakravtes in existence. Only the recipients of the Path Down Manakravte, namely the ruling monarch and the heir to the thrones of Rusinghide, may utilize it.
It's not an important fact that needs to be heard by Albus, so I am actively filtering these thoughts to my mind.
You could do that? Damn!
This changes everything. Since I'm no longer strapped for the time, this means we can engage in a long and leisurely chat.
Your observation is accurate, but that doesn't mean that we intend to reside long in your subconscious, so...
Are you becoming accustomed to the communicating through your thoughts? If you think you're ready, then we'd like to delve into the details concerning Sarah. If you're ready to share, then those thoughts should enter your stream of consciousness and flow out for us both to hear.
Huh? Nothing is happening.
Give it some time, Mr. Falster. I suppose this was to be expected, given the unfamiliarity of purified matter regulation to a resident of the outer pole. Usually it would never take this long to form and communicate a coherent thought.
Why don't we take a moment to relax? When you're comfortable, we can try again.
Indeed, although it is favorable, for us, we really do have all the time in the world right now. In time, you will be able to convey and control your thoughts at will.
Thank you both. Even now, I'm still quite in awe of these turn of events. And with each exchange you both make with me, the more pleasantly surprised I am by your heartfelt sincerity. I am genuinely touched by both your thoughts, which are tinged with care and compassion.
Strangely enough, we feel the same about you, too. Yeah.
Huh?
This manifestation of your subconscious is beautiful, clean, and pristine. It represents your best qualities, Mr. Falster. Your subconscious is incredibly stable, which is representative of your mental state of mind as well.
Selphine is correct. Your stable state of mind has allowed us all to communicate through Manakravte without any issue. If your state of mind was the complete opposite, with qualities that were unstable and antisocial, your subconscious would have manifested into something bleak, dark, and sullen. Yeah.
Interesting. And while I hate to disappoint you both, I must admit that I have been known to cross a moral line or two in order to achieve my personal agenda. Which begs the question, how do I know that neither of you is really a spy after Zhevits Enterprise's secrets? For all I know, you both could have been coached by Zhevits in order to lure me into a false sense of security.
I knew he fostered suspicion about us. He actually has for quite some time.
But now, I actually feel quite foolish for doubting you both. Now that I can sense your pure personality in my heart, this is the final conclusion that I have reached, based on my finding to date. But more importantly,
I know now that you both care deeply.
Oh, I know that.
That's Albus's line, my bad.
I know now that you both care deeply for Sarah, and would do anything to help it.
Well. He's finally sent his first thought down the stream. Oh, it's so hard to tell who's who. Damn it. Before delving into the subject of the Zhevits siblings or Sarah, we must first acknowledge the pivotal individual who was fully invested in all of their lives. That very person is Sid Zhevits, the founder of Zhevits Enterprise, and father to Rude and Rudo. He was the eldest son of the Zhevitses, who were nowhere near the affluence that they are now, and grew up with a mindset that carried over into his future business practices. I knew him since he was a boy, raised in the old slum of Cadia, and we were practically inseparable. I was his first and final friend, until the day he passed away.
Sid's father was a mess and incorrigible excuse for a man. He was a drunkard, renowned for his violent outbursts against his own family, and a barbarous man by nature. His occupation was completely based on opportunism, meaning that there was never a stable source of income to sustain his family. Everything was get rich quick or nothing. One day when Sid was 9 years old, his rotten opportunistic father lived at the chance to ship back thousands of sediment stones to Cadia, all which were said to have been completely imbued with purified mana. He was promised a fortune for his services, but never returned to the city of his family. And now Sid, at the age of 9, was left to care for his bedridden mother all by himself. At that time, Cadia was nothing but a small, poor mining town, and the townspeople could barely survive the winter with the little resource we had available. Many people perished during the winters, especially in the slums where both Sid and myself resided. If only we had some kerosene. That was Sid's only concern, second to his mother. We did everything we could to care for Sid's mother, everything within the power of 2 9-year-olds, which didn't amount to much in reality. For 2 years we labored away, doing any and every odd jobs available around the town, until Sid's mother, time came. She passed away when we were both 11. The death of his mother had an immediate and profound impact on Sid's perception. From that year onwards, he became angry, bitter, and resentful. But he did not drown himself in sorrow, not when the world as he knew it was so bleak and hopeless. He realized that unless he acted and used his personal tragedy as a motivator to become something more, he'd become yet another statistic. Once he was unshackled from his beloved but bedridden mother, Sid found another object of devotion to be chained to, for the rest of his life as he knew it. Mana. Of all the things he couldn't chosen to pursue, why mana? I asked myself. Mana was the cause of his father's disappearance, perhaps even death. In fact, if it weren't for the promise of the fast fortune through purified mana, Sid's father might not have gone missing, and Sid wouldn't have had to struggle to care for his mother as much. So why did Sid pursue the root of all of his misfortunes? Well, one day, while Sid was laboring away in his coal mines, he discovered a fragment of a sediment stone containing a trace amount of colored mana. He found thousands, in fact, and later smuggled them out without anyone else noticing. He wasn't doing it for the sake of resale, though. He was going to use them for research, which would become the foundation for the remainder of his life.